In this video, I'm going to show you all how I embroider on a sweatshirt. Stay tuned. This is the design that I'm going to stitch out onto the sweatshirt. Of course, I lined the letters up in Sew It Pro. I'm going to save it to a flash drive and take it to my machine. Okay, so now I have my sweatshirt. What I did to prepare and find my landmarks for it, I folded it in half going down the center and I pressed it so that there's a slight crease right here. And then I found where I wanted the center of my design to be, and I marked that spot and folded it right there. And then I pressed it again so that there's actually a slight, almost like a bullseye effect, where you'll see exactly where you want the center of your design to be inside your hoop. Now I have my hoop. My stabilizer is hooped within it. I'm using the Pelon 809. I like the ability to be able to fuse the fabric down to it so it doesn't shift too much, because I do like to float my stuff instead of actually hooping it. And now if you do want to use regular embroidery stabilizer, All Stitch does have a cutaway that is about the same weight of this Pelon 809, and it is the C025 or the C020. So you can always find a stabilizer that doesn't have the adhesive backing on it or the adhesive stuff on it. So if you need to find your center point for your hoop, you can always go and mark it. And I'm sure you've probably seen before where we'll just go down and find our center points, because you've got this nudge right here and this nudge right here that shows where you're going from top to bottom. And then you have right here to here, and you're going to go straight across. And so that's center point right here. Now, I wouldn't use pin on a item that is it might show through, but this is truly just a test stitch, so we're going to just try it out. I'm going to hoop this sweatshirt, and the way I hoop it is not too difficult because this is a bigger sweatshirt. And can you almost tell where right there is the center point? I can see it. You might not be able to see that on camera, but that is my center point where I want it to be, pretty much where I would consider that the bullseye right there. And then I just kind of work it around so that I can get it lined up. Where's my center there? There's that little nodule here. So my crease where I ironed, we're going to just follow that crease and trace it all the way up to that center little nodule there so that it's lined up right. And I'll pin that right there without stretching it too much. Try not to stretch it. And then we're just going to trace that right here to this little nodule. And it traces right there just fine. Somebody down there needs to let the dog out. Okay, now we have our top and bottom pretty much in place, and it never hurts to try to trace going this way just to make sure, but my crease is not that prominent going horizontally, but it'll be okay. I'm pretty sure it is lined up right. So I will just finish pinning this down, and I'm going to take it to the hoop after that. Okay, here you'll see I have the sweatshirt all pinned down, going all the way around. I've double checked to make sure I didn't pin any parts of the sweatshirt that should not be pinned down. And it is pretty straight. And so what I'll do, just to decrease that shifting a little bit, I'm going to just press over the center just a little bit, just so that that heat can activate the adhesiveness of that 809. And I didn't do all of it because all of it's not going to stay. I'm going to cut some of this away, so there's no need in pressing all of it down. So now I'm going to take it to the machine and start stitching. Alrighty, so now we have our design loaded. I have 7 color changes with this, so it's gonna take a little bit of time, and there are a total of 19,866 stitches. So my machine is saying that it's going to take about an hour to stitch. I do have all those color changes, so I'm going to get the stitching, and I will just check in periodically between color changes. I won't have you sit and watch the whole thing being stitched. It's going to start with the H and just follow order. Okay, so I'm still stitching, and we are almost done with the slowest part of this design, and I'm literally sitting next to my machine babysitting it because I do not want it to get all caught up and have to start all over again. We are definitely making some progress, and we are on next to the last color. So after it stitches out the word organic, we have one more thread change, and this project will be just about complete. Alrighty, we are down to the last color. Once it stitches this line out, which is the phrase colors may vary, this job will be just about complete. Alrighty, so now it is finished. I am going to take this shirt off of the machine, get it unhooped. I will unpin it, take the stabilizer and trim it around, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so I've got it off of the hoop. I'm going to go through and trim this stabilizer. It's really what, 809, but that's what I use as my stabilizer. So I'm just going to trim it without actually trimming through any of my threads, because the last thing you want to do is get completely through a project only to cut through it. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I'm going to trim from off of it. I'm going to turn it inside out. Let's see how it looks. And now I am going to press over it just so that the stabilizer that's left under there does adhere to the back of the shirt. Now, if this was going to be on a child shirt, I would definitely put some Cover Soft on the back of it. There are other brands, I can't think of them offhand, but it's just a soft covering to cover up the stitches so that the threads don't irritate the skin. Okay, and this is it. Alrighty, thanks for watching.